Hello and welcome back everyone to Duel Masters for the PlayStation 2 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode we'll be continuing on the 5 colors tournament with Trey, our mostly mono green deck. Trey's campaign is lengthy, as Pascal is mentioning here, because he has to do a lot of grinding at the end of it. I don't like the fact that Trey has to do grinding because Luke and Rusty don't. It's really weird. I mean, Rebecca has to do some grinding. Flynn has to do the most grinding because he just straight up cannot beat one of his opponents in the campaign without getting a better fucking deck. But like, to be perfectly honest, that is the only real stopping point that any of the characters get to. It's why I really dislike Flynn's campaign, because Flynn's deck is just so goddamn bad.
The first thing you have to do, take that deck and throw it away. Get a new one.
Well, not the entire deck, because he does have Bloody Skeeto, and I believe he's a water darkness. I think he's water. Is he water darkness? I forget. Flynn was like last part. Gah. No, Flynn was 2 parts ago. Anyway, Trey is actually water light, and Trey being water light has got some interesting things going on with it. The ability, Trey being nature light has got some interesting things going on with it. It means that he gets access to both card draw and mana ramp through specific cards in each civilization, and with those advantages, he can be relatively hardy. And also get out some of the bigger creatures. The thing is, Duel Masters is a game about aggro, and green doesn't do control very well, so it doesn't really matter how hard he is, because he's going to have to actually spend a bunch of his mana getting out better creatures than his opponent, and then trading his better creatures into his opponent's creatures after he loses shields for it. It's why for this game, we're going to already be down to, 0 shields at the end of this turn.
This game lets you anticipate these battle and blocking situations ahead of time, so at least it makes it easier to make a come from behind victory. It also helps ease the tension if you're playing it a little close to the chest.
A little bit, at least. Thankfully, since we got an old grass out and our opponent seems to be a hyper aggro deck, we should be pretty good from here. Yeah, his biggest drop is Muramasa, and he's not able to bring it out yet. So.
Oh yeah, and the part that you can see the cards in your opponent's hand, which is really weird, by the way.
Yeah. Again, that's mostly because of the fact that we have to share a screen. This is one of Trey's signature creatures that he gets access to, Earthstomp Giant. I like Earthstomp Giant. Earthstomp Giant is probably the best of the 3 giants that we get to see. The other 2 being Dawn Giant, and I don't remember what the other one is. But Earthstomp Giant comes with a really powerful negative effect whenever he attacks, sadly. He bounces all the creatures that are in your mana pool back into your deck.
Oh, back in the deck. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so we're just...
So, Earthstomp Giant is an interesting way to win a game, to be perfectly honest, but he doesn't really, do much else aside from, help you win the game. Thankfully, this game should be over. No. Yeah. We're going to attack with Earthstomp.
Because he's got double shield breaker.
Yeah, he's got double breaker.
Yep, so we win because he does not have enough blockers.
Well, he has no blockers, so there.
That's even better. Attack his face!
Go, Magris.
The finishing blow, 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 blow.
Ouch.
My ass!
I think he'd actually be more complaining about his shoes, but yeah. Trey and Rusty are brothers, by the way. This is not important for the 5 colors tournament, but it comes up during Rusty's campaign once. Exactly once. And Trey gets accused of being way too temperamental during his campaign. So, Trey's entire campaign is about him attempting to earn Knight's respect back, as well as conquering his a little bit of a losing streak against Marcus. Yeah, Marcus is honestly the primary antagonist for a majority of the fucking campaign, and this opponent's got fucking Holy Awe. She already put it into her mana, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about it, but she did have it. Now, Pascal is mentioning here that I dislike both Steel Smasher and Poisonous Dahlia and the, is it just those two? I think it is just those two. I dislike these cards, but I have them in Trey's deck specifically as dedicated mana dumps. Because Poisonous Dahlia with 5,000 power is one of the very few things that can trade evenly with Dianoric, and Steel Smasher having 3,000 power can trade evenly with Emerald Grass. The thing is, unless you're fighting against light, you don't need to really worry about those. And because we have access to light cards ourselves, specifically Melee Vizier of Lightning, we can take out our opponent's creatures before they have the ability to set up all that well. So, like, there's very rarely, if ever, a reason to actually use Poisonous Dahlia and Steel Smasher.
Ultimate Force.
Ultimate Force allows us to put the top 2 cards of our deck into our mana pool. It is honestly really good at accelerating your mana, and then you realize that you don't get to choose what cards go in there. So, is it really acceleration or is it a hindrance?
I mean, on a probability basis, it sounds like running Snipe Hunter, really, because most of the time you're
Snipe Hunter is both way more powerful and way more costly than Ultimate Force.
But it has great payoff as long as you accept the risk that you could be discarding a card for nothing.
Yeah, and that's, what is it, a 30? Yeah, it's a 1/3 chance that you discard a card for nothing.
Only 1/3 though.
Alright, he's going to use Poisonous Dahlia to kill our Silver Fist, which is sad. But I think he's going to end up using a Burning Mane to attack us directly, as well as Silver Axe, which means we should be able to take her down next turn.
Foolish child.
Yeah.
You've overextended. Now you've really done it now.
Yeah, because unless she's got Holy Awe in her shields, which she likely doesn't because she put one of her Holy Awe into her her mana, then yeah, we should be able to win from here. Yep, untap step. Have melee attack the first shield.
The first shield.
Have Sword Butterfly destroy the last shield.
The second shield.
And have Burning Mane attack her directly.
Fool.
Thank you, Burning Mane.
Bye-bye.
Honestly, I like the Beastkin deck, but it's a deck that I honestly don't build that often. Mostly because, like, Burning Mane and Bark Whip are the only 2 cards in the Beastkin deck that are actually, you know, more than viable. Golden Wing is good, just not great, and Silver Axe and Silver Fist is actually really good, but it's a 4 mana card, so, you know, you kind of have to run it anyway because, again, limited card pool.
Duel time.
You, Gwynny.
2 minutes and 57 seconds.
That should be the end of Trey's campaign. Trey's tournament. Yep. So next up is Luke. Luke is my favorite deck. He starts off as a mixture between the light and darkness civilizations, focusing more on light. And although it is true that he focuses more on light, he also gets during his campaign he gets the ability to pick up either Eris or Photocide, which are 5 drops with 9,000 fucking power. And with 9,000 power, yeah, they are absolutely fucking amazing. As Pascal has mentioned here, Luke is one of the only campaigns that you can clear without doing any grinding at all, because he has enough duels in his campaign to, with high enough point values to actually just get him all the way through to a master rank.
Yeah.
I think that Luke's campaign is just straight up the best one.
I like a character that will just get you into the action in the optimal sense. This would be the Albert Wesker of our numerous mercenaries characters.
But Albert Wesker has the ability to teleport, and sadly, Luke does not have teleportation.
But what Luke does have is a magnum.
He also has a very stretchy viziers.
Screaming sunburst.
It's Ire, the Vizier of Bullets, and it's Melee, Vizier of Lightning, and I forget what Vizier Magris gets for its title, but all right, I'll take down 2 more shields.
Let's go, Pinky.
And we should be able to not win next turn, but set up for winning next turn.
Yeah. Looking a little weak there.
We might actually just be able to win this turn. Okay.
Well, if she doesn't summon anything, and if she tries attacking.
She summoned Miss Reyes. Okay, we win.
She's gonna try attacking. Yep, she's gonna. She just gave up one of her blockers.
She didn't have any blockers.
Oh, she could have blocked with the dude.
Couldn't. She cannot block with Melee. Melee doesn't have the ability to block.
Oh. Finisher.
Well, this is 1 more shield down, which does not have Holy on it, so now Ire can finish her off. Yay.
Now actually finish her.
Yeah. Plasma bullet shot. No, this isn't the plasma bullet. This is the stretchy bullet. Right.
Stretchy bullet. Mr. Fantastic, baby.
Mr. Fantastic is an asshole.
You are winner, player 1. You are winner.
Yes. Don't talk to us, Professor Richards. You is evil, for the most part. Alright, and the next, we have this character who I don't think we ever actually interact with during the campaign, so I don't even really remember his name. If I were to give him a name, it would be John, but like, does he look like a John to you, Mr. Cloud?
Kind of. He looks more like a Blake.
I don't know. That haircut is not so much Blake as it is, maybe Colin.
Colin also would be a valid name for it. How about George?
No, definitely not George.
Okay.
He's got way too sharp of features to be George.
Victor.
Again, we run into sharp features being the issue there. I don't think he would make a good Victor.
How about Maximilian?
Definitely not Maximilian. I mean, he has a fancy shirt, sure, but that's like the only fancy thing about him.
Rich?
Rich, maybe. I could see him being rich. Alright, he just casts Sundrop Armor, which allows you to take a card from your shields and put it into your shield zone. It's honestly a very good trigger if you're running the 5-color shield trigger deck. But he's not. He's just running an overly defensive water light deck. Which thankfully, since we have access, oh, I should have attacked with Babelto. Oh well. Since we have access to Law, a majority of his defensive creatures don't actually worry me, and since we have access to Ethel, almost all of his defensive creatures don't actually worry me.
Don't worry, Duel Masters of the.
For the longest time, I believe that song actually did have instrumentation on it until Todd in the Shadows did his episode on it, and it's like, no, that's all a cappella stuff.
Yeah. Well, modern a cappella has come a long way. We have Pentatonics, for instance, which does both lyricism and percussion using just a cappella.
Yep. Mind you, their versions of tracks, although are good, are usually not as good as the instrumentations.
You know, stuff like that. Except way, way better.
Yeah. You'll notice that he's running a lot. This character is running a lot of cards that when they die, they end up going into your shield trigger zone. And although I like those creatures, they're all way too motherfucking expensive. Alez is 6, and Aukis is also 6. Like, Why would I run these? Because they have 1,000 power and they're 6 mana. God no, you can't attack with them. You have to try and defend with them, and you can't because they have 1,000 fucking power. They're ass. Don't run the self-restorative shield monsters. They're not fucking worth it. Even he doesn't think so. He's probably just trying to run them for mana's sake, but oh well. Come on, Ethel, finish him off. So how did you first discover Crazy Frog?
I heard the hamster dance first.
Ah, okay. Alright, his name was Pete. Ugh! Bad name for that character design.
His name was Pete. He was a hamster. And he loved singing crazy songs.